The 2032 Olympic and Paralympic Games are supposed to be a shining moment for Queensland, but tonight, multi-billion-dollar plans for major sporting venues have been upended. The original $2.7 billion proposal to knock down and rebuild the Gabba has been abandoned. Instead, a review recommended a new stadium built from scratch at Brisbane's Victoria Park. The 55,000-seat venue carries a heftier price tag, costing up to $3.4 billion. But that idea has already been rejected, the Premier deeming it too expensive. Instead, the government's going with a third option, upgrading Lang Park to host the opening and closing ceremonies. The Queensland Sport and Athletics Centre will be revamped and the Gabba refurbished. The government insists this latest plan, at roughly $2.7 billion, will give taxpayers bang for their buck.
After several false starts, the Premier is hitting reset on the 2032 Games.
Suncorp Stadium will become our Olympic stadium.
Stephen Miles put forward his government's alternative plan, ditching a key recommendation of the review headed by former Lord Mayor Graham Quirk for a multi-billion-dollar stadium at Victoria Park.
When Queenslanders are struggling with housing and other costs, I cannot justify to them spending $3.4 billion on a new stadium.
Every one of our recommendations has had a logic behind it, it's had findings to support it, and we believe it presents the best value for money.
The Victoria Park proposal didn't go down well with locals.
It should never, ever have been mooted, and I don't know what the panel were thinking of, really.
Or politicians.
My advice to the Premier, thank Graham and his committee with this report and put it straight in the bin.
A brain fart from this review to bowl up a stadium even more expensive than the disastrous Gabba demolition.
The state government says the plan to upgrade Lang Park, QSAC and the Gabba at a cost of $2.7 billion is the best value for money.
This decision will ensure the Games stays within its funding envelope.
Despite the Quirk review recommending against upgrading the athletics centre at Nathan.
To do a QSAC arrangement would cost around $1.6 billion with very little legacy.
While the Premier previously vowed to adopt the recommendations of the Quirk review, he also conceded work on the alternative plan began weeks ago, following the bruising by-election result at the weekend, where cost of living was a main concern for voters. It would have been politically damaging for Stephen Miles to back the Victoria Park proposal. The opposition doesn't support any proposals and instead wants an independent body to review and make a call on the Olympic venues.
We have to end this madness. We have to end the chaos and confusion, and we need grown-ups in charge to be able to do it.
The state government accepted most of the review's other recommendations, including scrapping the controversial Gabba demolition project.
We have been advocating for this for 3 years. Our community has been under such anxiety and stress.
But the future of East Brisbane State School remains uncertain.
It's not totally clear whether the school will stay or go, but staying is definitely on the table.
Rachel Rieger, ABC News, Brisbane.